Guitar design. What's best? More about electronics. Last time I hit stop instead of pause, and so our little intermission turned into the end of the video. So this video is going to pick up where I left off. Let's see. In the end of the last video, I was talking about magnetic drag from multiple pickups, and yeah, it's only about 3% for a neck pickup, so it's not really much to worry about. Now, let's see. Next item on the list is tone controls for shredders. You keep your volume up all the time, you keep your tone up all the time. You're only using the neck. You don't need any of it. This one, all that stuff's been stripped out. This one here, never even put it in the first place. Yeah, basically less is more. If it doesn't need it, don't put it in. Unless you're just trying to impress people. People who understand won't be impressed. A dedicated guitar built for one purpose, like, you know, jazz only or shredding only or something, will always outperform something that's not dedicated. It will at least match it, if not outperform it. Let's see here. On-off and kill switches are nice. Look over at this guy here. It's got the kill switch right there, and on-off switch right here, so that you don't have to like unplug it or turn down the volume in order to just, all you do is just turn it off, and then you can set the guitar down without having it feedback or hum or anything, make noise, that kind of stuff. Equalizer on board versus at the pedal chain. If you look at this guitar here, this is the body from the X1 build. And the X1 build had a built-in equalizer mounted right there, and the output jack for the EQ was the output jack for the guitar itself. This thing had this was originally a $65 eBay Super Strat. The neck was modified, and the body was modified in order to take a Steinberger trim with the no head, and then the body was also cut, and the sides were moved down, or this side was moved down and such, in order to form, this was actually cut into a pear-shaped guitar, kind of like this, and that was one build, and it was done as a tail tuner, with the tuners down here, and then the bits that had been cut off in order to do that were glued back on in order to form this body with the offset leg and such. Because this, as you can see here, let me get the neck pockets even. There we go. Okay. So as you can see here with these two guitars, there's the leg cut out there near the middle pickup. Over here, the leg cut out is down at the bridge. But anyway, yeah. EQ, no real special thing putting it on the guitar. It's easier, it's just as easy or easier to put it on the front end of the pedal chain. Humbucker screws. Humbucker screws can work like a primitive equalizer in order to change the frequency response curve of a pickup. This one has been set up for more treble and less mid-range, more treble and bass and less mid-range. I actually, when you turn up these screws, it brightens up these strings next to them so much that you have to turn those screws way down in order to compensate. And then you lower your two middle screws in order to kill your mid-range. And that gives you a much nicer response curve than just having everything flat. I've also heard of people who will pull the screws all the way out and lower the pickup way down and get some interesting tones that way. Let's see what else we got here. So yeah, you can set up the screws on a humbucker like a pyramid EQ in order to manipulate the frequency response curve of the pickup slightly. Slugs versus screws on a humbucker. Slugs have fuller tone than screws. Where are we at here? Slugs have fuller tone than screws. So you want to get this out of the way. Slugs have fuller tone than screws, so you want to put the slugs. Actually, this is backwards. You want to put the slugs backwards the way this is set up. You want to put the slugs towards the neck on the neck side and towards the bridge on the bridge side. And when you're coil tapping, you want to tap the slug coil, not the screw coil, unless you're going for that EQ effect. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't notice that was backwards, but yeah, that's backwards. Actually, I believe that's the way that Gibson says to do it, though, which means they're backwards. Let's see. Tone controls. When you, get this thing to focus here. Yeah, cheap-ass camera. Yeah, never bring a phone to a camera's job, so. Anyway, yeah, tone controls. Good idea is to use a on-off potentiometer. That way, when it's all the way up, it'll turn off, and you can, and that way you don't get any treble bleed through to your tone circuit, which you get with just a regular not on-off potentiometer. So yeah, you want to use on-off pots for your tone controls. Now here's an interesting one. You can use a separate volume control for each pickup and make the whole thing work like a mixing board. That's one very cool thing I discovered. And so you can have a volume here, volume here, volume here, and mix in any pickup you want. You can do it with a piezo, you can have humbuckers and single coils and P90s or whatever you want. And mix them all together like a sound engineer, which gives you really, really, it's much more than just these two full volume or these two or whatever. You can mix and match, give me full on neck, give me half on middle, and give me just a touch of bridge kind of thing. Yeah, that's very cool, and that's a neat feature. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh yeah, tone control for each pickup. That's one that Gibson got right. Got a tone control for each pickup. Kind of hard to see there behind the Bigsby, but yeah. The tone control for each pickup. That way you can do your tone switches. You can switch pickups right away from neck to bridge or back, and already have your tone set for each one, and not have to fiddle with the tones for instantaneous changes. Whereas with something like this, if you're going to switch to something that doesn't have a tone control, a separate tone control, then, here's a good example. One tone control, one volume, and a 3-way. So yeah, if you want to go with that, or you want to have this with some treble rolled off, you got to both throw the switch and spin the knob. Takes longer. which can be important if you're like playing at 180 BPM and need to do that in the middle of the song. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. A humbucker, if you look at this guy here, you can see that it's been routed to hold a humbucker and a single coil both. And you can actually place a single coil in and then put a humbucker just above it. But you have to pay attention to which way around you put them because of the magnets. You see that one way they like to sit together and the other way they don't. Yeah, see, they really don't like to go together that way. So you got to pay attention to what's left and what's right on the humbucker versus the single coil. But yeah, you can actually do this in a guitar and it works. And that way you get a real humbucker kind of a sound and a real true single coil kind of sound. And then the two being right next to each other doesn't really seem to affect the tone of either one versus just being there by itself, that or that. Let's see what else we got here. Putting two pickups in series, you know, like two humbuckers in series, that's nothing special. It's just going to be louder with less treble. The second pickup acts as a choke or a AC resistance inductance to the signal coming out of the first pickup, and so it kills treble. Let's see where we're at here. If you take a humbucker and you put the coils in parallel, it'll be slightly brighter, but it won't be as loud. Once again, that's to be expected. Same kind of results as if you put two single coils that way. So, let's see. Pickups above and below the strings. If you do something like this kind of a thing, it's no biggie. It's nothing special. You don't get any special effects out of it, having them in close conjunction like that. It's just two pickups. That's all. Two pickups right near the same spot. You'd get the same idea if you did, you know, two of them right one next to each other and then wired them either parallel or series as you saw fit. And let's see, pickups above and below the strings, humbucker coils in parallel, and I believe that's all the individual points. So if you take all that and roll it all together, what you come up with is pickup type, how many pickups, and where they're located at. That's largely personal preference. You know, go towards the neck if you want a warmer sound, go towards the bridge if you want a brighter sound. More pickups gives you a greater variety of tones, and different types of pickups will give you a greater variety of tones, and different types of pickups are more suitable for different types of music, you might say, or different tones which are associated with particular types of music. But yeah, it's personal preference, depends on what you're trying to build. If you're looking for something that's a good value, bang for the buck, this is going to be loud, this is going to be cheap, this is going to be easy to install, and it doesn't need batteries. Pickups that are never going to be used, like that thing, I took that out decades ago, probably, to tell you the truth. Now, I've had this guitar for a long time. So, yeah, there's no real need to put them in the first place, really. I mean, on that one over there, I didn't bother at all. I just covered up the existing cavity that came with the body. Tone and volume controls, if you want them. You know, they're not vital if you're building a shredder, but if you want them, there's no harm. Gives you more versatility. Use on-off pots on your tone controls in order to avoid treble bleed. Multiple pickups. If you're going to do something with multiple pickups, this kind of a thing, that kind of a thing, then it looks like a volume control and a tone control for each pickup with no selector switch is going to be the e-ticket ride for greatest versatility. Because basically then the thing works just like a mixing board. Basically each pickup is one channel on a like this would be a 3-channel mixing board built right into the guitar, with each pickup is one channel on the mixing board, and then it comes out the jack. And it doesn't get much better than that. So let's see. Yeah, so you do that kind of a setup for multiple pickups, and if you wanted, you'd throw in your kill switch, button. Get some light on it here. Yeah, kill switch, and your on-off switch, so you can set the thing down without it making noise. It's faster than using a volume knob, and if you got a shredder, like that's designed shredder, that one there is also designed shredder with the shredder bar on it now. Then you know you're not going to have a volume knob in the first place, so no volume knob. This doesn't have volume either, actually. Come think of it, that's the piezo. So yeah, in those cases, the on-off switch is really, really nice. You know, you don't have to unplug it part way and then have the cord fall out and hit the floor and start buzzing or whatever. And let's see. I think that's almost it. Yeah, killing on-off switches. And so probably something like the ultimate setup might be something with, like, you know, 3 pickups and a piezo under the bridge and volumes and tones for all 4 and no switch. And you put your EQ at the head of the pedal chain. There's a pedal chain right there, sort of. And you should be good to go. And of course, you know, throw in your on-off switch and your kill switch, and also throw in your coil split and maybe series parallel if you're into that kind of stuff, in order to get even more tones out of it. And when you get up to that point, you're in the range of, you know, pushing on 20, 30, 40 tones out of one guitar, which is not too shabby at all. And especially if you do something and mix it up and put, like, you know, an AMG in it, and then maybe, I don't know, a single coil and a P90 or something. Yeah, you get a lot of sounds out of the guitar that way. So, but anyway, that's about it for electronics. I hope you found some useful information in this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Everybody have a good one.